Hi, good afternoon, and welcome once again to another conference of this self-knowledge course. Today we will study about the two kinds of knowledge, objective and subjective. The objective of this conference is to learn the difference between the objective knowledge and subjective knowledge, to understand which one serves us for our inner advancement and the negative consequences that the accumulation of subjective knowledge brings to our consciousness. The first thing we need to understand is that there are two worlds, the external world and the internal world. Each one of these worlds has its own reality. The external world is made up of all the things that we know externally. Since we see them and can touch them, we believe they are real, and we allow ourselves to be fascinated by them. But if we analyze correctly, all these things that make up the external world are of a passing nature. Everything passes. People pass, buildings pass, continents pass, animals pass, things pass. In the outside world, we form our personality by imitating other people. When studying personality, we find that it is governed by social norms, what is allowed and not allowed in a society. Legislation, conduct, moral and religious precepts, what we learn from society, what we learn in school through kindergarten, the primary school, secondary, universities, specializations, etc., etc. What we humans do not see is that all the things of the personality sooner or later will change or disappear too. Many things that we learned years ago were later modified and so on. So, the subjective or the personality knowledge atrophies consciousness, alienates it. It mechanizes us, turns us into theorists, atrophies our intellectual center. Clearly speaking, if one desires self-realization, the less acquired subjective knowledge he has, the better. But sooner or later, our physical body will die and our personality will disintegrate. We know that the personality is temporary. Therefore, all knowledge received by it will also be temporary and will be lost the moment that the personality disintegrates. Well, the inner world is different. In it, we find two kinds of realities. One is the free and conscious essence, the 3%, and the other is the essence trapped in the psychological self, the 97%. But 100% of our essence is what truly counts. It is our being. That essence is our particular God, the real, the true, the eternal, the beautiful, what does not pass in each one of us. Since our consciousness is asleep, we do not even know that we came to this world with an objective, to know ourselves, to know our particular God. In order to know ourselves, it is necessary to know our inner world, and that is what counts. In order to know our inner world, the first thing is to observe it, or learn to observe it, since the sense that allows it is atrophied in the majority of humans. One of our sparks lies within it. We see that we must release it. For this, it is necessary to understand why this defect was created, how it fits, how it controls us, and beg our particular Divine Mother to eliminate it. The essence will be freed, and once emancipated, awakens its consciousness, receives from the Father its own objective knowledge, its vocation within our microcosm. If we proceed in this way with each of our defects, our being will begin to integrate, and we will awaken an objective knowledge, since it is a knowledge from our being. It is a knowledge that does not pass away. It is the wisdom of our own consciousness. The world knowledge comes from knowing. which tells us that it is something that has to be done personally. Most of us, in the process of intellectualization, believed that learning mechanically or memorizing was enough, and we became believers in everything we have been told, but we have not known anything that supposedly we know. We missed the most important part of knowing, which is checking for ourselves. In order to develop objective knowledge, it is necessary to create the internal bodies, which allow us to get to know the different dimensions of nature and the cosmos. If we make the mistake of not creating our higher bodies of the being, we will never know ourselves in an objective way. In these bodies, we will integrate the being and the knowledge. Inner or objective knowledge is not a question of theory or readings or stories. It is something practical that we have to do based on the three factors: psychological death, spiritual birth, and sacrifice for humanity. If we do not die, the essence is not released, and therefore we do not advance towards wisdom. If we are not born, then the existential bodies of the being are not created, which allow us to know the different dimensions of nature. If we do not sacrifice ourselves for others, we will not consciously integrate ourselves into the law of love. Also, we need to know that we have 7 consciousness. They are embryos within our sexual creative energy. When we learn to create ourselves, we develop each one of these consciousnesses. With the psychological body, with the physical body, we can get to know the 3rd dimension. With the vital body, we can get to know the 4th dimension and the gene paradises. With the astral body, we will know all the stars and planets. With the mental body, we will know the world of atoms, and we will be able to extract wisdom from them. With the body of the will, we will know the electronic worlds or planets of the Christ, everything that is, has been, and will be. With the bodic body, we will know the electromagnetic worlds and the true happiness. And with the atmic body, we will immerse ourselves in the ocean of light. Without these 7 bodies or objective knowledge, it is impossible to begin to know the universe and the gods. The Greeks taught that one had to know oneself first in order to know the universe and the gods. The objective knowledge allows us to know what is real, the purpose of existing, our role in the universe. It allows us to merge with our being. If we want to reach objective knowledge, we have to check and practice these teachings. As I said before, the word knowledge comes from knowing. If one does not know, one does not have knowledge. And if we want to know the universe, we have to refer to knowing our own internal worlds first. No book or theory can give us that internal knowledge that is based on our own experimentation. Because so-and-so speaks very well, has a good memory, retains different works and authors and all those things we say. That guy does know. That guy does have knowledge. But what knowledge? For example, when you teach to the letter, repeating what the teachers taught, for you it is a lie, and anyone could tell you you are a liar. How can you be so sure that this is so and so? And this is because you have not checked or verified yet by yourself. Each one must acquire their own knowledge. Then you are going to talk about your own knowledge from or based on your own experimentation and verification. This is why we say and urge everyone not to believe us, but to hurry to directly experience this knowledge, to verify it. And for this, we give the practices that allow us to do so. Although it is true that an objective theory is important to show us the steps to follow, what is truly important is that we come to verify such theories so as not to speak based on what a book or a master or a conference says, but with knowledge of the facts. The masters of the White Lodge, laid the foundations for each one of us to develop direct communication with our being and come to have our own knowledge. But that will depend on the path we want to choose, the path of the practitioner or the path of the believer. Remember that the path of the practitioner is the one that leads us to the self-realization of our own being. And well, this was today's conference. Thank you very much for joining us. A short conference, but a very important conference, okay? Next week, we will look at a pretty important topic. We will be talking about lust and how to work on it to achieve chastity, since the basis of our work is chastity. So, we will see various defects and details that prevents us from achieving it. So, thank you very much, and until next time. Bye.